We're rounding the corner and finishing up our large blocks in London Blues. Today we're going to be doing block number 7, Staffordshire. Just like all of our other ones, we're still working with a 9 patch, and it's made up of 3 components. The first component is our square and a square that is made from fabric 6 and fabric 1. It's just like we've been doing for the last 3 months. So here's just a quick review on how to do it. You're going to take your square and your other squares that you've cut into triangles. You're going to center your triangles on opposite sides and sew. When you iron it, press your seam allowance toward your square. Then you're just going to repeat the same thing, and you're going to put these, you're going to make sure that they're centered, and you're going to sew it onto opposite sides. This time, you're going to press towards your triangles. Once you're done, you'll have an oversized version of your square and a square. So when you go to square it up, you want to make sure that from this point to the edge that you have a 1/4 inch all around. So that's your first component, and you only need one of these for Staffordshire. Our next component, you're going to need 4 of them, and this is called a log cabin corner. And it's a log cabin corner because it only does 1/4 of your log cabin. You're going to need your center square, which is fabric 6, and then you're going to need your rectangles, and you're going to have your cream and then your blue. This one is really easy. You just have to make sure that you follow your pattern and orient it the right way. So when you sew it, you're going to sew the little strip onto the top. Then you're going to sew the long one to the left of your square. Then you're going to repeat it with your blue. You're going to put your short one. Again, you're going to go on top, and then you're going to sew your long one to the left side. When you do, then you have your log cabin corner. The next component you're going to do is your hourglass. And with this method, you're actually going to make 2 hourglasses at the same time. You're going to be using fabrics 4 and fabrics 8. So what you're going to do is take your 2 squares and put them right sides together. Then I've gone and I have drawn my diagonal. Then I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side of that diagonal line. Once I've done that, I'm going to cut it in half, take it to my iron, and I'm just going to press my seam allowances to the dark side. Now you notice I did not square them up. I just left them at the size that they come out. Now I have 2 half square triangles. I'm going to take this one, I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, and then I am going to line it up. I want to make sure that this seam locks. So once I have it locked, I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to mark my diagonal. Now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine, and again I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side. Now that I've sewn my 1/4 inch on each side, I'm going to check it before I cut it apart. I'm just going to open it up, and I'm going to look and make sure this is matched, because if it's not matched, now's the time to correct it. But it looks like when I flip it, I did pretty good. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to just cut it in half. So now when I open it up, I have 2 hourglasses, but I'm not going to press it yet. Now I'm going to square it up because this is oversized. I'm going to use my triangle square up ruler, And I am going to size this down. Now remember, with this ruler, you want to put your measuring line on the sewing line, not the edge of your fabric. And also, because this is an hourglass, I want to line up this center line with this seam. So now I can just cut off the excess. And now I have my hourglass. Now I can take it and press it. Now we're ready to put our block together. We're going to start out with our square and a square, our hourglass. This one hasn't been sized. We'll just pretend it's been sized. And we're going to place all 4 of our hourglasses around. Make sure you get them in the right direction. And then we're going to take, whoops. Again, make sure they're in the right direction. Then I'm going to take my quarter log cabins and I'm going to make sure that the square is in the corner. I haven't finished my 4th one, just pretend it's there. And I'm going to put all of that together, and then we will have the completed Staffordshire box.